somebody who grew up in a household where you weren't allowed to make mistakes and people screamed at you for doing things that any other kid would be lightly reprimanded for, there's a good chance that you struggle with rejection. And if you're neurodivergent, you may struggle with rejection anyway. The unfortunate thing about this is when you struggle with rejection, it's hard for you to make progress in life. And the reason being is because negative emotions are our biggest catalyst for growth. So whenever you're frustrated, whenever you feel down or tired or angry, those are the emotions that we use to constructively get us from point A to point B. It's almost impossible to reach your goals and your dreams without going through a little bit of rejection, or actually a lot of rejection. It's just a part of life. But the things that we experienced in our childhood, they're still with us when we're adults. And if you were somebody who wasn't allowed to be wrong, you're gonna be very careful with every step that you take. You're gonna think and not do. And anxiety comes from a lack of doing. And it's the action that relieves anxiety. It's okay to feel down when you feel rejection. And not that people should be screaming at us, because if you're in an environment where people are always screaming at you, then you probably aren't in the right place. That's not a normal thing to be screamed at every single day. However, there are going to be times in your life where you'll be stuck in situations that you don't want to be in. If you are not able to withstand rejection and it's hard for you to hear painful things about yourself, growing is going to be difficult. It'll be very difficult to achieve your dreams. One of the best ways to practice with rejection and tolerating it is allowing yourself to be in situations where you feel uncomfortable, new situations, new environments. And whenever you lose at something, or whenever you don't get the desired outcome or result, you allow yourself to sit there in the discomfort. Most of us, when we don't like how we feel, will turn to something that will help alter our mood. This is why people do drugs. And this is also why substance use is also a huge thing in the neurodivergent community, because we don't like how we feel a lot of time. And when we don't like how we feel, and we know that we can get drunk or we can get high or we can take a certain pill to alter how we feel, we normally do that. And it does solve the problem in the short term and interim. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow us to experience those negative emotions and just sit there in the discomfort. And when you were a kid and you were being yelled at by your parents or your uncles or your caregivers, this is just what you experienced. And there was nobody there to help you out, or nobody was there to let you know that it was going to be okay. And it probably wasn't the healthiest environment. And that's one of the worst things about trauma. It's so hard to shake it. Everything that happened to you, it does stick with you. And in order to move past that trauma, we have to go back to the moment where you experienced the trauma, or those moments, and process it with a therapist, or just talking about it with a friend, or writing it out can be cathartic. But you do want to go back to that moment mentally in your head and allow yourself to be a kid. Make it okay for you to make mistakes.